Daily Trust News Center. This is the News Hour.
On News Hour tonight, Boko Haram fighters ambush military escort, kill soldier, 5 passengers. Zamfara State Governor condemns adoption of students, orders rescue. Flood ravages 70 houses in Cross River communities. Lebanon-Israel troops fire tear gas along tense border in a disputed area. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Hour. I'm Aisha Salihu. We begin with security matters where suspected Boko Haram terrorists have ambushed security vehicles escorting motorists along Gwoza-Limankara-Uvaha Road, killing 1 soldier and 3 civilian passengers. Also, 5 commercial vehicles, including a security patrol van, were also set ablaze, and many passengers are still unaccounted. Local and security sources said the incident happened when the soldiers and civilian JTF were providing cover to passengers traveling to Gwoza, Askira Uba local government area in Borno and northern parts of Adamawa states. Senator representing Borno South, Ali Ndume, who also confirmed the incident, said the ambush happened on Saturday evening. He said that the spike of killings in Gwoza area has become rampant in recent times, calling on the military to take the fight to the enclave of the insurgents. Now, Kabiru Matazo, Borno State Daily Trust Bureau Chief, joins us via phone call to give us an update on the situation. Okay, we'll bring you up to speed on that detail of the report later. Now, moving on, away from security issues in Borno and Adamawa states, President Bola Tinubu has directed security agencies to rescue the remaining female students of the Federal University Gusau, Zamfara State, who were recently abducted by terrorists. In a statement by the special advisor to the president, Media and Publicity, Ajuri Ngolale, the president condemned the reprehensible act of abduction, adding that there is no moral justification for such heinous crimes against innocent victims whose only offense was their pursuit of quality education. While the president wholeheartedly commiserates with all families directly impacted by the sad incident, he affirms that his administration has a solemn duty to protect every Nigerian citizen, and in line with this commitment, assures the families of the abducted students that no effort will be spared in ensuring their safe return. Furthermore, the president pledges that the federal government is determined to ensure that educational institutions remain sanctuaries of knowledge, growth, and opportunity, and totally free from the menacing acts of terrorists. Similarly, Zamfara State Governor Dauda Lawal has condemned the recent abduction of students of the Federal University, Gusau. Gunmen had stormed the Sabon Gida community of the Bungudu local government area, kidnapping more than 24 students of the university. The governor, in a tweet on Sunday, described the attack as cowardly, just as he directed security agencies to rescue the students still in captivity. According to the governor, he is in constant engagement with security heads in the state and other stakeholders to ensure the safe return of all other victims and speedy address of the situation. Lawal also directed his deputy Mani Momoni to provide all the necessary support to the security agencies to restore normalcy in all affected areas. Meanwhile, the Arewa Consultative Forum has described the kidnap of female university students in Zamfara State as a threat to girl child education in northern Nigeria. ACF, in a statement by its National Publicity Secretary, Professor Tukur Muhammad Baba, called on the federal government to spare no efforts in ensuring that the abducted students are released unharmed forthwith. It condemned the abduction of the students, urging the federal government to rejig its security architecture and come up with new multi-pronged containment strategies against security and related existential threats bedeviling schools and communities. Now, still on security matters, a 70-year-old Ardo, a Fulani leader of Panyam district of Mangu local government area of Plateau State, Adamu Idris Gabdo, was on Saturday killed in the area by yet-to-be-identified criminals. The state chairman of Mieti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, Nuru Abdullahi, who confirmed the killing, said the incident happened on Saturday evening when the deceased was returning from paying a visit to the district head of Panyam. The Magban chairman alleged that Magvau youth in area may have been responsible for the attack, an allegation denied by the spokesperson of Magvau Development Association, Lawrence Karashik. While confirming the incident, the Transition Implementation Committee chairman of Mangu local government area, Marcus Artu, condemned the killing of the Fulani leader. The council chairman, in a statement made available to newsmen in Jos on Sunday, described the killing as barbaric and an act of criminality by enemies of Plateau who were against the peace being enjoyed in the state. Artu further assured the people of Mangu that security operatives were on the trail of the perpetrators of the evil act and would soon be arrested and made to face the wrath of the law. While calling on the Fulani headers to remain calm, the Magban chairman called on the security agencies to ensure the recovery of the corpse of the Fulani leader. And now we have Daily Trust reporter Ado Musa, who gives us an update on the situation.
Following the occurrence of the incident, the people of Mangu general area were not happy with what has happened to the Fulani leader. They say the Ardo of Panyam has been a very good person, is someone who doesn't like trouble in that particular area. And that is why they came out to condemn the act in its totality. They said those who perpetrated the act were just enemies of peace, because peace is gradually returning in Mangu general area. And that is why the chairman of the local government quickly came out to also condemn the act and assure people and the Fulani community that the security personnel will definitely get these people arrested and bring them to book. On the side of the Magban, that is the Mieti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria, they also condemned the killing of the Ardo, but they also asked the security to ensure the recovery of the corpse of the Ardo. They also call on all members of the group to also remain calm and be law abiding.
Still in Plateau State, residents of Yanshanu community of Jos North local government area of the state, where Myrna Clinic and Maternity Hospital of Dr. Noah Kekere is located, have opened up on the relationship that existed between them and the controversial medical personnel. According to the community, there had been cordial relationship between them and the doctor for over 18 years, until the recent allegation of organ harvest against him, which they say came to them as a surprise. Trust TV's Ado Musa reports.
The controversial medical doctor, who was arrested by security personnel, was alleged to have harvested kidneys of Kende Kamal of Rikos and Ibrahim Ejibade, a 70-year-old man of William Street of Josno local government area of the state. The arrest of the suspected doctor came after a complaint to the Nasara Gom Police Division by Bushari Kamal, husband to one of the victims, that his wife's kidney was allegedly removed by Dr. Kekere. The Nigerian Medical Association in the state has since denied the membership of the embattled Dr. Kekere, explaining that there hasn't been any record of him at their secretariat. However, the resident of Enshanu, the host community of Murna Hospital, said they live a cordial relationship with the doctor, not knowing about his hidden secrets regarding the alleged organ harvest.
Actually, I can say before we have a very good working relationship with him. Being the host community of the proprietors of Murna Hospital and the host community, we took him as a brother. That's why that whenever he has problem concerning his hospital with my community, he normally reported it to me, and I will settle their matters amicably. But fortunately for me, when I had this unfortunate news that there was a patient, he operated her sometimes about 5 years ago, and she was complaining that her kidney has been removed by him. So I too, I have been in jittery.
The community chairman further says, throughout the period of their stay with the doctor, they have never suspected his action until the recent discovery of kidney harvesting cases against him.
We have never suspected any of his movement because we took him as a brother. We accommodate him, but he betrayed the trust and the confidence we have on him. Because what happened to Mrs. Kande is real. It's real. So and beside myself, nobody in this our community that can say that Noah is not a professional doctor. Unfortunately for us, he's not a doctor. Has no any medical certificate with him. His first degree was economics. His second degree was economics.
Rakia Haruna, who knows the embattled doctor for over 30 years, also shares her experiences with him before his arrest. I know him for a long time, and we believe then he was a trustworthy person, but unknown to us, he is dubious. We stay with him with one mind. It is said, every day for the thief, one day for the owner. We call on security agencies to investigate this matter thoroughly and ensure justice. The police in the state has recently said 2 more doctors suspected to have operated on the victim of the alleged organ harvest, Mrs. Kamal, had also been arrested. Meanwhile, victims of the organ harvesting have been calling on the security agencies to do the needful and bring all the perpetrators to book. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
Now, 70 houses are reported to have been destroyed by the continuous rainfall in the past few days in communities of Akpet Central in Biase local government area, Cross River State. Goods, properties, economic crops and trees worth over 100 million naira were also reported to have been lost as a result of the rain. Community leaders Samuel Egbai and Ogba Ethoti said that the construction of the Akpet culvert, which was abandoned 3 years ago, immediately after the rehabilitation of Akpet axis of the Calabar-Ugep highway, is one of the reasons for the flooding of the Akpet communities. Over the weekend, the member representing Biase State constituency in Cross River House of Assembly, Francis Ogba, who visited the communities to assess the extent of damage, lamented the effects of the flood devastation. The House of Representatives member called on the State Emergency Management Agency to provide relief assistance to persons affected by flood disasters. And now to electoral matters, the police said it will deploy adequate personnel, including plainclothes officers, for the governorship elections in Kogi, Imo and Bayelsa states, slated for November 11. The first public relations officer, Olumuyiwa Adejobi, who disclosed this in an interview with The Punch, said some anti-riot equipment such as tear gas canisters, water cannons, armored personnel carriers and drones would be used by policemen during the elections. Adejobi disclosed that the leadership of the police had held several meetings with the Independent National Electoral Commission at the level of a committee co-chaired by the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, and the INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu. With about 7 weeks to the off-season elections, there is palpable political tension in the 3 states. The Lagos State Governorship Election Tribunal is set to deliver judgment on Monday, September 25th, on the petitions filed by the governorship candidate of the Labour Party, Gbadebo Rhodes Vivo, and his counterpart of the People's Democratic Party, Olajide Adediran, popularly known as Jando. The Justice Aram Ashom-led panel communicated this message to parties on Saturday. Rhodes Vivo and Jando are challenging the return of Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu and Deputy Governor Bafemi Hamzat of the All Progressives Congress in the March 18 governorship elections in Lagos State by the Independent National Electoral Commission. On August 12, lawyers in the petitions adopted their final written addresses before the tribunal. As a fallout of federal government increase in the salaries of lecturers across the country, students in Maiduguri also want high tuition fees reversed to enable them have access to affordable higher education. Trust TV's Beatrice Kurusi reports.
The news of the federal government's salary increase for lecturers to students in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, was viewed as a welcome development. According to them, it will motivate lecturers and encourage them to put more effort in the teaching career.
It is a good idea because they can the lecturers, like professors, doctors, they can able to do their work efficiently.
Well, the increment ordinarily should motivate the lecturers more. We could see that in the university here, lecturers will complain about non-payment of examination fees for marking of script and stuff like that. So we usually have delay in the release of results as a result of non-payment of marking fees and stuff. So we believe with all these increments, they should be motivated to an extent and they'll be able to give in their best.
However, the students also want the government to consider reversing the hike in school fees, saying the economic hardship is making life unbearable for them and their parents.
I'm calling NUC, that is National University Commission, to direct the universities. At least if they can increase their school fees, they should increase it, not above 100%. This 200%, 300% it's not applicable. It's not good.
That the fees we've actually been paying is not feasible to meet up with certain challenges and certain services that should be offered in the university. We all understand that, but given our income also as students and even the parents, as it very, so most students found it very difficult to pay.
The result of increased school fees, many our colleagues, they find it very difficult. Many of them, they left the school because of this increment. Though we heard about they were going to increase the school fees, but we don't expect this high rate. We are calling the federal government to intervene or the National Universities Commission to look about it.
While some schools across the country reviewed their fees, many students want the federal government to make education not just accessible but also affordable. Beatrice Kurusi, Trust TV News, Maiduguri.
Still with development in the education sector, the House of Representatives is working on a framework that will ensure that over 14 million out-of-school Nigerian children are back to school. The framework, tagged Nigerian Mass Reduction of Out-of-School Children and Youth Project, is a legislative intervention through the House Committee on Alternative Education, scheduled to last for 4 years. The project will also see the out-of-school children trained with relevant skills to become productive members of the society. The intervention aims at improving access to education for all Nigerian children in line with the aspirations of Sustainable Development Goals on qualitative and inclusive education for all. Is in partnership with relevant government agencies. Away from that, residents of Olomi Olunde in the Oluyole local government area of Oyo State have lamented the deplorable state of the Olomi Olunde Ijebu-Igbo Link Road, which has become a nightmare for road users and residents of the area. The communities say the road project awarded in 2018 has been abandoned, making life unbearable for many, just as businesses crumble due to the poor state of the road. They want the federal government to mobilize a more capable and equipped contractor back to site to see to the completion of the road project. Let's take a look at the report.
This is the Olomi-Olunde Ijebu-Igbo Link Road, located in the heart of Oluyole Local Council District in Oyo State. It's the only access road that links Academy, Olomi, Olunde communities all the way to Ijebu-Igbo in Ogun State. Residents of the community said the road, which is in a deplorable state, has since become a nightmare for many motorists who are now frequent visitors to mechanic workshops to repair their cars. They want authorities concerned to come to their rescue by fixing the entire stretch of the road.
Encounter a lot of challenges on this road since 2018 they give them 2 years to deliver this road, but it's above 4 years now. Some people are for the close to 5 years. Some people have died on this road. We make a lot of effort, but
they are saying what we are not expecting since 2018. How do you expect us, we people living here, we've gone a lot of true hardship on this very road. If I could tell you, if people should share their own experience and on their phone, if they should show you this very road, this very, very hill that you are seeing, if they should share you with you pity us here.
The 45-kilometer Olomi-Olunde Ijebu Link Road was first awarded in 2018, and ever since, work on the road has been at snail speed, with major intersections and bridges not properly constructed, a development that prompted the resident to call for the revocation of the road project from the current contractor.
Appealing to the government to please assist us. Let us those people living here too, let's enjoy being a citizen of Nigeria.
It needs 2 years to deliver this work, and up till now they are yet to do 5% of the contract. So in the light of this, we want the government.
Leadership of the House of Representatives ad hoc committee, who were here for an on-the-spot assessment, promised to intervene with a view to addressing the challenge.
I've been coming here to have a meeting with the committee representative from unit to unit, and I was a part of that public hearing in Abuja, and that is why we are here. We are here to assure the community that definitely this is a commitment from federal government of Nigeria, and this road will be delivered within the shortest period of time.
Of course, I have to understand the feeling of the people. They are so aggrieved. You know, people just want to see results. People want to see action being taken on by the government. And of course, the government wants to do this road. But unfortunately, certain things went on. That's why it's not completed. And we are coming here to investigate why the road has not been completed up to now.
So far, the federal government is yet to work on the Link Road, which is a strategic lifeline to many residents and a corridor for travelers passing through to their various destinations.
Reactions have continued to trail the decision by Gombe State government to enforce ban on gala nights clubs in the capital, Gombe. A security analyst says the move is a good step in the right direction towards improving the security situation in the state, while a criminologist in the Gombe State University is of the view that more stringent measures must be implemented to address immoral behaviors being propagated at the gala night centers. Trust TV's Ibrahim Ismail reports.
Concerned with the level of immoral behavior at the nightclubs in Gombe, the government had earlier demolished 5 centers which have become hotspots of women's exploitation. 100 people were arrested in one of the security raids conducted in collaboration with the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC.
Centers violate the principles of religious morality, violate the principles of public morality. So in a general sense, trying to marry these together, we can say that it is some acts that group of young persons that are indulging in this kind of acts that contravene or that go contrary to the expectation of the larger members of the society, or that violate the expectation of adults and elders of the society, which to a larger extent, if we are to look at it in line with your question, we can say that this will further accumulate into a very serious problem in the upbringing of the younger persons.
A university don, Dr. Adamu Ahmad, who is also a criminologist, at the Gombe State University urged security agencies to be professional in the implementation of ban on gala nights and advised authorities to investigate owners and operators of the clubs.
It's not just about banning. It is good for us to have like a snowball investigation. Who initiated this? What are the reasons behind this? Then we try to identify this from this to this, up to the level where we understand the dynamics of the whole issue. Then try to design a framework so that this kind of thing will never manifest again in this environment. So without thinking beyond this, it is going to be difficult for us to say that we have banned the gala centers or the entertainment centers and we shouldn't be expecting these entertainment centers to manifest in a different form. Or they used to organize what they call barbecue, where they will go outside the city, organize like a party, the younger persons will gather. It's the same thing that is going on in the gala center that now has improved to be like a formal setting and a particular environment where they will be carrying out these kind of activities almost every day.
In recent years, Gombe State has witnessed an influx of underage girls from neighboring state and other parts of the country who are involved in immoral activities at the night centers. Ibrahim Ismail, Trust TV News, Gombe.
You're watching the News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up shortly, we'll take a look at what incentives gum Arabic producers need to boost production. More news when we return. Do stay. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is the News Hour on Trust TV. Now let's take a look at a recap of some of our major stories. We told you that Boko Haram fighters ambush military escorts, kill soldier, 5 passengers. Zamfara State Governor condemns abduction of students, orders rescue. And now moving on to more stories, stakeholders in the agricultural sector in Bauchi State have advocated for the provision of palliatives to farmers as a way of achieving food security in the country. The farmers made the advocacy in a statement at the end of an empowerment drive aimed at realizing agric potentials through the value chain. Trust TV's Adamu Imam reports.
While reaffirming their determination to contribute towards realizing Nigeria's drive towards food security, the stakeholders say government needs to encourage farming activities across gender and segments of the society. Participants at the forum speak on inclusive farming, especially in northern Nigeria, a region blessed with arable land for agribusiness.
They should not sell it because so many initiatives were done in the past, but the most important, the most annoying thing is that you will give farmers an equipment to use it on his farm to better his life. Some will just take it and sell it. So I am giving the farmers this very important advice that they should actually try as much as possible to make best use of this substances and equipment in their farms.
To empower people. For those of them residing in Gombe and Bauchi joint. As I speak to you too, it's also happening simultaneously in Adamawa and Borno State as well. We are here to empower farmers in conjunction with the Federal College of Horticulture Gombe, Gombe, to empower farmers and with spraying machines, liquid fertilizers, pesticides, herbicides to ensure bumper harvest, knowing that the government is after food security.
Others highlighted the imperatives of agricultural empowerment in the quest to attain food sufficiency. Adami Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
Still in line with agricultural production, gum arabic producers in Nigeria say insecurity and low government incentives are some of the challenges undermining production of the commodity despite its contributions to the nation's gross domestic product. Gum arabic is produced in commercial quantities in Borno, Yobe, Jigawa, Katsina, Sokoto, Zamfara, and Kebbi states. Trust TV's Abdullahi Yamadi tells us how insecurity affects gum arabic production and plantation of acacia tree, which produces the export commodity. The report.
Boko Haram in the northeast and banditry in the northwest regions have significantly dwarfed the volume of gum arabic production in Nigeria.
So unfortunately for us, there was this emergence of Boko Haram. So with the emergence of Boko Haram, the prime area of gum arabic producers had to lie fallow. So we had to lose virtually almost 3/4 of our membership and the production range and so on and so forth. And with the emergence of banditry, everything was compounded again.
This is one out of hundreds of acacia tree farms, which is over 3,000 hectares at Mani local government area of Katsina State. Here, gum arabic is being harvested all year round, a produce that is rapidly sought after at the international market.
Economically, is the only valuable economic tree we have in the Far North, in the Sahel area. The only economic commodity which we can take to international market is purely gum arabic, other than probably groundnut and cotton. The only other thing is gum arabic.
Despite the economic importance and the impact on the value chain, plantation of acacia tree as well as gum arabic production, its producers say has been neglected by successive governments. They are, however, hopeful that the trend will change for the better.
As market price is concerned, it's one of the commodities which enjoys the most stable market pricing for the last 10-20 years. Because as far as I can remember, within the last 10 years, there was no time this commodity came below $5 per kilogram or $5,000 per ton.
Agricultural experts say if governments of the gum Arabic producing states will pay attention to the sector, issues of unemployment and low revenue generation will be reduced to the barest minimum. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Following the surge in school enrollment after the declaration of free basic and secondary education by Taraba State Government, the State Governor, Agbu Kefas, has approved the sum of 50,000 naira as medical allowance to National Youth Service Corps members posted to schools. The Governor also okayed the payment of additional 10,000 naira monthly to be given to the Youth Corps members as support from the State Government. The State Commissioner for Information and Reorientation, Zainab Usman Jalingo, in a statement announcing the new measures, informed that the state government has also set aside 25,000 naira as accommodation allowance per term for the Corps members. She added that uniforms, shoes, socks and books will be made available by January to support students in their pursuit of education, with a plan to cover the examination fees for all SS3 students in order to enable them write both WAEC and NECO examinations. And away from that, over 4 tons of illicit and controlled drugs, including consignments of nitrous oxide, popularly known as laughing gas, skunk, codeine syrup, methamphetamine and tramadol, have been intercepted by operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency during interdiction operations in Lagos, Kogi, FCT, Jigawa, Kaduna, Sokoto and Edo states. Over 1,194 cylinders of laughing gas with a total weight of 2,547.2 kilograms loaded in 2 Toyota Sienna buses were intercepted on Friday by the NDLEA operatives along Okene-Lokoja Abuja Expressway. Laughing gas is one of the latest sources of drug abuse common among youths. NDLEA spokesman Femi Babafemi said on Sunday in a statement that 2 suspects, Onyebuchi Ikbozu and Kenneth Igwe, who were taking the consignments to the FCT for distribution, were arrested and taken into custody. According to him, while one of the Toyota Sienna buses marked KTU 582HV was conveying 99 cartons containing 594 cylinders, weighing 1,267.200 kilograms. The second bus, with a number plate FKJ329YA, was conveying 100 cartons of the substance with 600 cylinders, weighing 1,280 kilograms. And now some residents in Yola, the Adamawa state capital, have raised concerns on the whereabouts of the remaining 7 out of the 10 luxurious buses bought by the state government to cushion the effects of fuel subsidy removal on the citizens. The concern is coming less than a week. The 3 out of the 7 buses started operating in the city of Yola. Trust TV's Salis Lawan reports.
On board one of the luxurious buses from Jimeta Modern Market to Yola Town and moving about to Sangere Futi, I interacted with some of the passengers who expressed worry over the sudden disappearance of the palliative buses.
I'm very excited because it's a welcome development
I'm going to spend like 400 naira to go there, but now I'm paying 100 naira. It's a welcome development. Really thank God for the development.
Seriously, it's very nice because we're the student of university, so we that are coming from Yola to university, so before now we are paying about 1,200 naira every day just to go to the school, but now coming this car, so now we are paying just 400 naira.
We want to say thank you to the governor of Adamawa State, Alhaji Umaru Fintiri. We want to say a very big thank you to him for providing this public transport. He has eased movement in Adamawa. Most times we do struggle with keke, we struggle with bike people, but now as it is now, it's just we move at our own convenience and the transport is very comfortable and it's very cheap.
They complained that the luxurious buses are usually seen operating from Jimeta Modern Market, moving about to Sangere Futi, Sangere Konanwaya, FCE to Yola Town, but they no more inside in recent times.
Yola, 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 Yola.
Others complained over the slow pace of movement by the vehicles, which they say spent 30 to 40 minutes before they arrived at the terminals. Aside from the delay of the buses, as hinted by some passengers, one major issue is the safety and security of the commuters.
People should not have fear or concern that there are people that are standing and perhaps they might think that those that are standing are those that that the vehicle or the bus is overloaded. No. There is a provision for standing passengers, that is 52 passengers standing in the bus. The maximum capacity for the bus is 110.
I waited, yes, I waited. I said I'm not going to enter KK. I must experience the goodness of the car. So I have to wait. I waited over 30 minutes. So I was discussing with my friends that my friend was asking me where am I going to. I told him I'm going to Yola. He asked me, look at KK, I should enter. I said, no, I want to enter that filtry car so that I will enjoy it, to know how the car is good.
Just 100 naira, and it's very affordable compared to when these buses are not available. You know, from here to that, the place we are going will cost about 200 or 250. People are using it, and I think it will boost economic activities. It will help students, you know, in their day-to-day movement.
Despite the challenge, operation of the luxurious buses, economic experts say, help in easing the hardship residents face in transporting themselves to desired destinations across the state due to high-cost transportation. Salis Lawan, Trust TV News, Yola.
And now to Bayelsa State, residents in the oil-producing Niger Delta region have been advised to take swimming as a life-saving skill due to the terrain of the rain in the area. They gave the advice in an exclusive interview with Trust TV's correspondent Friday Ebimoboe Peter.
Dr. Inidobra Yermaya, who is resident doctor at St. Peter's Hospital, Amarata Yenagoa, underscored the health benefit of swimming, which he says reduces the mental stress and unites the human body to function socially.
You know, swimming is a recreational activity, so it's good for the health system by developing the mental activities in the brain. Swimming can relieve mental stress in the body, since mental stress and cardiovascular disorder is a cause of hypertension. So when you swim, you relieve some stress in the body that will reduce hypertension. They should learn how to swim, because swimming is a key thing that everybody must know how to practice so that we can save life.
Also speaking, a swimming instructor at the Bayelsa State Sport Complex, Coach Numompere Orubo, says it is instructive to note that there is age requirement for those wanting to engage in swimming, which start from 8 to 9 years professionally.
Somebody who wants to learn how to swim
will be of certain age, from 8 to 9 years. For somebody to know how to swim well, if we are training the person, it will take you about 2 months period. 2 month period, because in swimming, we have 4 styles in professional swimming. But if we are teaching you survival swimming, we only teach you only the 2 major styles. For me to train him to learn how to swim, I charge the person 50,000. That 50,000, I will have to train you for about 2 month period.
A member of the Bayelsa State swimming team, Master Kenneth Oyabrade, who started swimming at the age of 9, speak on his experience.
I feel happy every time I swim now, and also I joined the swimming team in Bayelsa State 2015, and I've been 8 years now swimming. I feel swimming is a very good sport to me. I take it as an occupation to me because sometimes we go for outside games, we win, they paid us, and the state is helping us by God's grace. It is what we feel to do that help us in life to go forward. It's through swimming I survive. Because for now, I'm not a civil servant, but I'm an athlete.
These teenagers are swimming in one of the biggest swimming pools owned by the Bayelsa State government, which dimension is 25 meters width by 15 meters length, and the shallow depth is 6 feet depth, and the deeper end is 7 feet. And I am Friday Ebimobowe Peter, Trust TV News, Yenagoa.
Now, the Oyo State Police Command has paraded a 60-year-old man, one Mr. Adeyemi Isaac Adebola, for impersonating Commissioner of Police and Inspector General of Police. Briefing newsmen on the development, the State Police Public Relations Officer SP Adewale Osifesho said the suspect was a serial impersonator who specializes in defrauding members of the public. The report.
Adewale Osifesho, who briefed journalists at the Police State Command headquarters, said the arrest was sequel to a series of complaints from members of the public about a man parading himself as a serving Commissioner of Police, and in some instances as an Assistant Inspector General of Police to unsuspecting members of the public. He said the suspect was using fake identities to illegally extort huge amounts of money from members of the public.
Sequel to a series of complaints from members of the general public about a man who has been parading himself as a serving Commissioner of Police, and in some instances a serving Assistant Inspector General of Police, to unsuspecting members of the public and even members of the force, using fake identity to illegally extort huge amounts of money and also sabotaging them. Upon interrogation, he confessed to have been using the fake identity for some time and explained that apart from extorting money from members of the public who sought assistance on police-related matters, he also equally uses the fake identity to gain undue and undeserved advantages from some junior officers.
Also, a suspected cattle rustler has been detained for allegedly masterminding an attack that resulted in the death of his employer, Mohammed, a cattle dealer in Soku village near Isheyin town, Oyo State.
Deputy Commissioner of Police. The only mistake that I have made before now was that I called myself a Deputy Commissioner of Police. I never for once called myself Inspector General of Police. It was just 4 times that I called myself Deputy Commissioner of Police. I didn't collect money from them. I am not a policeman.
Other suspects arrested by the command include armed robbers, secret cult members with dangerous weapons, hoodlums who specialize in stealing cars, and notorious criminal receivers, among others.
You're still watching the news hour on Trust TV. The news will return shortly.
That's great.
Welcome back. The Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project has asked President Bola Tinubu to probe the $15 billion and 200 billion naira missing oil revenues. In a statement on Sunday, the group's deputy director, Kolawole Oluwadare, called on President Tinubu to set up a presidential panel of inquiry to promptly probe the grim allegations that over $15 billion oil revenues and 200 billion naira budgeted to repair the refineries are missing and unaccounted for between 2020 and 2021, as documented by the Nigeria Extractive Industries Transparency Initiative. Oluwadare urged the president to name and shame anyone suspected to be responsible for the missing and unaccounted for public funds and to ensure their effective prosecution as well as the full recovery of any proceeds of crime. Now, away from Nigeria, Lebanon's army said it has fired tear gas at Israeli forces over the border in response to smoke bombs fired at its troops, though Israel has said Lebanon started the confrontation. Tensions have flared along the frontier for the past several months, with rockets fired at Israel during flare-ups of Israeli-Palestinian violence and members of the heavily armed Lebanese group Hezbollah or its supporters facing off with Israeli forces. The area where the incident occurred is in Cheba Farm and the Kfar Choba Hills, which were captured by Israeli from Syria during the 1967 Middle East War and are part of Syria's Golan Heights that Israel annexed in 1981. That unilateral annexation was not recognized internationally except by the administration of former U.S. President Donald Trump, and Syria demands the return of the territory. The Lebanese government has said the area belongs to Lebanon. Meanwhile, the Israeli military said it was Lebanon that started the violence. Still in the Farrison, a fire at a golf ball factory in Taiwan killed at least 6 people, 3 of them firefighters who died in an explosion, authorities said. The fire, which began Friday evening and raged all night, injured more than 100 people, most of them workers. The Pitcairn County government told local media 1 firefighter and 3 other people are missing. Taiwan's President Tsai Ing-wen visited the scene on Saturday and expressed condolences to the victims' families. She said an investigation into the cause of the tragedy is underway. An official with the Pitcairn Fire Department told local media that chemical peroxide stored inside the factory could have been the cause of the 1 large and several smaller explosions. And finally, in sports news, Florence Olarinoye scooped 3 gold medals for Team Lagos on day 2 at the ongoing National Youth Games in 49-kilogram female class in weightlifting event. Florence, aged just 13, younger sister to Adenike Adijat Olarinoye, Africa and Commonwealth champion, showed class outlifting her opponents to secure the all-important 3 gold medals for Lagos State. Florence, at 12 years, won bronze in 45-kilogram class at the 2022 National Sports Festival, also in Asaba, in December 2022. She lifted 56 kilogram in snatch and had an impressive 72 kilogram lift in clean and jerk, totaling 128 kilogram to win the medals. Bayelsa State went home with all the 3 bronze medals courtesy of Christiana Adefemi Heroics. She lifted 48 kilogram in snatch, 65 in clean and jerk, and 104 kilogram in total to place 3rd on the podium. The weightlifting event continued on Monday with the 55-kilogram male class taking center stage at the Hall 3 Stephen Keshi Stadium, Asaba, Delta State capital. With that, we've come to the end of Trust TV News Hour. Do not forget to follow us across all of our social media platforms. Join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs, documentary. I'm Aisha Salihu. Thanks for watching.
Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.